Hello and welcome back to another video. Today's not going to be a vlog, thank God. No one wants to see my 7 AM face anymore, although you have got the crap hair. I'm trying not to put too much heat on it so you can see where I've had my bubble, but we'll hide it here, it's fine. Yeah, today's video is going to be a Q&A about Slimming World and calorie counting. For those that don't know, who are new to my channel, hello, I'm Megan. I'll leave my Instagram below. It's a Slimming World Instagram, but I have incorporated calorie counting, like majority calorie counting now, to my journey, which I'll explain for various reasons. So just a bit of a backlog. I started Slimming World in 2018 February, so literally coming up to 2 years now. It took me about 8 months and I think I lost two stone, and then just over time, progressively over like the next sort of 6 months, not even 6 months, from like the November through to the March, I lost another half a stone, and I've kind of kept that as my goal then. I've had so many different goals. Yeah, there is another video on my channel talking about like me on Slimming World, so if you want to have a look, that will be on my channel a bit further down. So yeah, I've done my weight loss journey. I've been on Slimming World for a long time, up until March this year, well, to 2020, when we went into lockdown. Still do Slimming World, but obviously I'm one of these people that has to have goals to keep me motivated. Like, I'm I've got a date coming up, I've got a holiday coming up, like I'm motivated for it, do you know what I mean? And with nothing to be motivated for, I kind of just I didn't spiral out of control. I gained like half a stone, which is really not a big of a deal. But then when I did switch back to Slimming World, like, it just wasn't going. I could do like a full week on plan and the weight wasn't dropping. So I thought, I'm going to calorie count for a week, because I've seen people do it and it works. And I found it just so much easier. And I've just calorie counted ever since. Like, I stick to the Slimming World kind of basics. All the recipes I make are basically Slimming World friendly. My hex A, hex B, like, I won't go over them either. The only difference is the sins. I don't really count anything as sins anymore. They're all just calories. But yeah, so I'm going to get into it. So yeah, if you do like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more weight loss content. Whatever you want, you can comment down below. If there's any other videos you want me to do, I'm quite happy to do them. But yeah, should we get into it? So I'm going to get the questions up. There's actually a really decent amount of questions, and they're like really good ones as well. So let's start from the beginning. Do you set a certain amount of calories for each meal, like 400 for breakfast, etc., or just do what fits for the day? No, I don't set any limit. Like, I plan my meals every week as I would on Slimming World, like what I'd have for breakfast, lunch and dinner and snacks. And then when it comes to the day, I'll add it up in MyFitnessPal. If there's bits over, I'll take little bits out, add bits in. Like, that diary or that meal plan doesn't have to be like the set thing, what you're going to do for like the rest of the week, and you can't move it. Like, I swap meals around, change things up. As long as I've got the basics in the fridge and the freezer and the cupboards, you can do whatever with. But no, I tend to have a smaller lunch because I like a breakfast. Breakfast is my favourite time of the day. And I like a big dinner, so I tend to just naturally have a smaller lunch, but I don't purposely choose. Also, I like to leave at least 100 calories spare for a little chocolatey snack in the evening. So yeah. Do you ever go over your calories and feel bad if you do, or take it in your stride? I try not to, because it's stupid, but I do feel guilty. But on a weekend, like the weekend just gone, was the first weekend in a very long time I've done it on plan, in like a deficit kind of thing. What I will say is I went over by like 50 to 100 calories on the weekend. But for me, that was actually like motivating, because on a weekend I'm a very on plan or off plan person. So like, I'll be super good in the week. I'll get scared if I have like a teaspoon of sugar in my tea over the plan, whatever. And then on a weekend I'll hello. Here she is. She's just gonna be there chilling. She's tired. She's been on a long walk. Yeah, bye then. Yeah, on a weekend I just make up for it, and I just eat ridiculous amounts of crap. Like, it's disgusting. So I thought, you know what, for me to only be over by like 50 calories is a win-win. And then I weighed myself on Monday and I lost 3 pounds. So it just shows it doesn't really matter if you go over your calories a little bit, as long as the majority of the week you're doing good, you're on plan, you're focused. Like, the weekends are hard for everyone. So yeah, I don't beat myself up too much anymore, because it's just life, isn't it? Like, that's just, it's not the end of the world. Right, do you log calories for fruit? I've had a few more, like the one next to it is, do you count all your calories for fruit and veg because they're speed on Slimming World? Yes, I do. Some of it, like lettuce, I'm not even joking, you can have about 100 grams of lettuce for like 15-30 calories. It's ridiculous. But I count my calories for fruit and veg, because you'd be surprised at how much calories are in certain things. Like, they all add up. So if I have like, so I have strawberries, blueberries, raspberries and grapes, for instance, for my lunch, which I'd have on Slimming World. Sin free, have as much as you want. So I'd have that. For the evening, sourdough bolognese, I've got mushroom, onion, tomato, all of that. And then I want, normally what I would do after work as well, I would have like mango. That probably all equates together to like 200 calories. So like, yeah, they're good calories, but they're still calories. And to be in a, like, you're only going to lose weight in a deficit. So I would recommend doing it. Like, alongside Slimming World, you could give or take, but if you're gonna calorie count, you might as well do it properly. The only thing I say I wouldn't calorie count is fizzy pop, like 0 sugar fizzy pop, because I don't even think to do it. Like, you probably could, it's probably just something stupid. Like, I think Ribena, for instance, is 15 calories for the whole bottle or something, the low calorie one. But yeah, I'm trying to do Slimming World, but also calorie counting to ensure portion control. Do you track your, oh, that's another one. Yes, I do track my veg. Calorie counted for a week and I haven't even lost a pound, hoping for results next week. For this one, I'd say calorie, can you, by the way, yes, I am in pyjamas underneath because we're in lockdown, if I didn't mention already. Where was we? What was the question again? Oh yeah, about not losing a pound. Calorie count is very hit and miss, so I will say Google a few different calorie counting calculators. So you put in like your exercise, your age, your weight, all that kind of stuff, whether you're male or female, and it comes up with a list. So you've got like extreme weight loss, which I wouldn't recommend because you're going to be starving and it's not healthy or sustainable. Mild weight loss, and then I think it's maintain or gain, and it's got different calorie deficits, and you just have to alter between those to find your like medium, because everyone's different. Even a calculator can get it kind of right, but you have to do the trial and error basically. So just think it's a week and just give it a go, keep doing it, because it might be your body adjusting to it, to be honest. Like, that happens as well. And just adjust it to suit you. Maybe if you've not counted veg, try counting veg. Make sure you're counting everything. That's the only thing with calorie counting. It's all the little things on Slimming World you'd forget that you have to now remember. So it is a little bit more thinking, but yeah, just keep at it. 1 week is nothing. And also take measurements, because I find taking measurements is so much better. Like, you can physically see the inches going down. So 1 week I maintain, but over the month I'd lost like 9 inches all over. So yeah. What advice would you give to someone torn between doing Slimming World or calorie counting? I'd say try both. I mean, you do feel like a traitor when you go from one to the other. Like, you really do. Like, me being like having my Instagram and having the platform, and then saying I'm going to do calorie counting even though Slimming World's still in my name, like, you feel so much guilt, and you're like, oh god, I shouldn't be doing this. Like, I'm going to get people to follow me, people are going to hate me. But you have to do you. Like, I come to a complete and utter standstill on Slimming World, and it hadn't happened for 2 years, but you know what, it happens. And I would say give both a go, or do it alongside each other. One thing I will say is I was eating way over the calorie amount for Slimming World, because I was just eating pointlessly. And the whole, like, Slimming World is good because you have the kind of, you kind of calorie count without calorie counting. Like, it says to have your pasta and always have like, is it a third of veg on your plate or salad or whatever? But is everyone doing that? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I never used to have my pasta, and I must have been having, I'm not even joking, at least 500-600 calories worth just for dinner. Like, it was ridiculous. But I feel like you have to try both to see what works for you. I'd say do a month Slimming World and a month calorie counting, and just see how you get on, because it's not just about the results, it's about what you enjoy doing. Like, do you enjoy Slimming World? Do you enjoy calorie counting? Because you can adjust both plans to suit you. Like, if you do better on Slimming World but you prefer calorie counting, lower your deficit, do you know what I mean, or up your exercise for instance, and vice versa. If you enjoy calorie counting but Slimming World works better for you, maybe do both alongside each other. But yeah, it's all about trial and error. Like, I would say you've got to try both. Which one do you recommend for effective weight loss? I'd say both. I mean, I lost 2.5 stone on Slimming World, so I'd say it's extremely effective. But I think my body just got so used to it, and I think now I've lost the weight. To lose initial weight, great, but to maintain, I think I needed some kind of deficit put in place. And also, I'm 22. I don't want to be looking at things as sins and hex A and hex B for the rest of my life. Like, it's a great plan for weight loss, but I'm not losing weight anymore, so it kind of like leaves you a bit in the limbo, like, what do I do now? That's why I tried something else to lose that half a stone again in lockdown, and then try and kind of get to grips with the maintenance of calorie counting. Because once you do calorie counting for like a month, I feel like I've said calorie counting so many times, once you've done it for like a month, I feel like you kind of get to grips with the calories on everything, so you know what to have, what not to have. So yeah, basically. How do you not find having the physical group meeting in COVID times? Well, I actually never really went to group. When I started in February, I'd say I went up until May. So 3 months I'd done a group, and then I started working more hours because I'd finished uni for the summer, and it was an evening group, so I was often working the late shifts at work, so I wouldn't go to group. And then I started my Instagram in the July 2018, and then once I had the Instagram and the support from everyone on Instagram, there wasn't really a need for me to go to group anymore, so I just never went. And also I had to move groups because I needed a morning one that fit with my lifestyle better. So yeah, I never really needed group. I feel like Instagram is like your virtual group. So like, I feel like if I need support, I need motivation, it's all there, like waiting for me kind of thing. What's been your favourite thing about switching to calorie counting? Just like the amount, everything you can eat. Like, nothing is off limits. Yeah, nothing is off limits. Like, if I want a McDonald's, I can have a McDonald's, but I would just have to adjust my calories for the day. Yeah, nothing is off limits, and that's my favourite thing. Like, I don't have to, say if I'd gone over sins, or even if I was in my sins but I had like 14, I would be so guilty and upset with myself. But like, why? Do you know what I mean? I feel like calorie counting, you know you know your number, you know what you've got to do to reach the calorie deficit maximum thing, and you can have whatever you want. Like, technically you could literally have 1,000, well, mine's 1,450 calories. Everyone's is different. Take mine with a pinch of salt. I've done it through a calorie calculator, so I could have like that much in chocolate if I wanted to. Technically I wouldn't, because that's just disgusting, but I could, and that's what I like about it. Just, if you like, nothing's off limits kind of thing. What do you think's better, Slimming World or calories? I wouldn't necessarily say anything's better. Like, I don't have a favourite. Like, Slimming World and calorie counting have pros and cons. So like, Slimming World was great for my weight loss because I went from a place where I didn't want to be restricted. Restricted meant I would just eat too much, and calorie counting to an extent is restrictive. What it was for me at the start. So I'd lost like a stone before on calorie counting and just gained it because I just couldn't be bothered to keep up with it, and I felt restricted. But Slimming World allowed me to, basically, it was just knowing in my mind I could eat what I want. If I was, not what I want, I mean when I want. So say there's no limits. So if I wanted to go home, I was still hungry, I know I can have the fruit because it's sin free. I know I can make myself boiled eggs or something because they're sin free. So for me, it mentally really helped me know that like you can eat, you don't have to feel hungry on a diet. But now calorie counting, I feel like I needed to get out the mindset of sins and everything, because you get so far in, you get like obsessed, which was what I was. So you have to take yourself back and be like, right, okay, nothing is a sin, nothing, like, it's just food, and as long as you're in a deficit to lose weight or maintain or whatever you want to do, you can have whatever you want kind of thing. So yeah, I feel like it's quite repetitive what I'm saying, but it makes sense to me. Like, I don't have a better one. They both worked, do work for different reasons. And it's not to say I could literally now do a full week, not calorie counting, just Slimming World, and lose 3 pounds. Like, there's nothing to say I wouldn't lose it. Like, I'm not saying it doesn't work for me anymore. I just needed something different to like kickstart my weight loss, and I've just found calorie counting a lot easier for my lifestyle, especially now going to work like 5 days a week. Like, obviously I was a student, and my lifestyle and stuff has changed, and it just fits in better with that. How much exercise do you advise a day? I mean, I can't. Oh, there's another one actually. My job is desk bound all day, and before I know it my lunch hour is over after I've eaten. Yeah, my job now is desk bound all day, so I'm starting to feel a bit crap, because my other job is like on your feet serving, yeah, so you kind of get your steps in. So I would say, just before or after work, whatever suits you best, go for a walk. No one's saying you have to like run a marathon or do 12,000 steps. Just go on a walk. Like literally last week on my days off I did get to 10,000 steps, but while I was at work I didn't. For starters, I'm not even allowed to wear my Apple Watch, so gutted because I can't get my steps accurate enough. And my lunch break, it's not really a proper lunch break. I'm like yourself, I'm just eating and then I'm done kind of thing. So it's just making the time. And you know what, if you don't want to exercise, you don't have to exercise. Like a walk in the fresh air around the block, 5 minutes is something. But like Slimming World, that's what I liked about it as well. I'd basically got into a really bad habit of like thinking I needed to go to the gym like 6 times a week before Slimming World. So I really hated the gym for it for a long time. So Slimming World, like I didn't exercise at all during my Slimming World journey, and I still lost weight. So I'm not saying don't exercise is good for you, of course not, but like even if you manage a walk, just a walk a day, like a little walk, it's better than nothing kind of thing. How do you work out calories in meals that you would usually chuck everything in, e.g. bolognese? That is annoying and difficult, but it's kind of difficult and kind of not. I kind of just, so I take things to say bolognese, you've got 500 grams, well I'll have 500 grams of mince, onion, mushroom, blah blah blah, and then I'll just weigh everything out, like the mushrooms, all the veg and stuff. So I use tin of chopped tomatoes. I know I'm making 4 portions, so I just, look at Mabel in the background. I know I just scan that in and I do a quarter of the tin, and then I'll do a quarter of the mince and whatnot. And I'm pretty sure on MyFitnessPal you can create like a meal, so like you put it all together as one, and then you could type it in. Like I'm sure I did it for cheeseburger pasta on here, and then it's just ready for you kind of thing. But yeah, it involves a lot of weighing, and most of it is just quarters of things, like it's, or thirds or whatever, how much you're using. Yeah, basically that's how I do it anyway. Would you say you can eat more different things with calorie counting? 100%. like loads. Like what have I had today? Okay, today's not a really good example. I had an omelette with a little sausage patty. For lunch I had soup and crisps, and for dinner I've got lasagna and garlic bread. But I find myself, like say the garlic bread for instance, right, so my favourite thing at the minute is reduced fat garlic bread slices from Aldi. They're 4 cents a slice. I want 2 slices. Look, what is she doing? Excuse me. Hello bubs. She's like made me lose my train of thought. Yeah, so it's 4 cents a come here then, come here. So yeah, I'm just gonna have to sit with her here guys, this is real life. It's 4 cents a slice on Slimming World, so I probably wouldn't want to, because if I did 8 sins, that's a lot of sins. Calorie wise, it's about 160 calories, so I feel like it's actually not that bad in calories at all, but sins, it's very high, and you would associate that then with a bad food or like a high sin food, but it's really not that bad at all. 100 calories out of 1,450, it's nothing, is it really? So yeah, I feel like you can eat a lot of different things, like so many things I'm eating now that I would have been scared to eat on Slimming World. So yeah, right, so this girl sent quite a few. So please explain calorie counting. I get so upset looking at people's losses of £3 and they say they wanted more but always get small losses. What the fuck is that about? I do Slimming World and I lose weight most of the time, but not at all to that extent. I definitely eat over my calories in Slimming World food. That's why I'm confused, and certain I lose slowly. I tried calorie counting but my calories are low and I was left hungry. To be honest, so confused. Right, so for starters, I'm with you on this one, because on Slimming World I was a slow loser. Like when I say it took me a month and a half to lose £6, like I'm not joking, it took me that long. People were coming in on their first week and losing like £8, and I was like, my biggest loss on Slimming World I think for a long time was £3, and that was in my first week, £3.5 I think. And if you're going over calories in Slimming World, like, I know Slimming World is a plan where it's like the whole point is you don't calorie count. If you're not calorie counting or you're going over calories, it doesn't matter if you're within sins or not. The whole physical body concept is to be within a deficit to lose weight. That's fact. So I know Slimming World say like, oh, speed food, free food, whatnot. Yeah, fair enough. But if you're going over calorie counting, that's where the gains or the really small losses are coming from. Because if you're over a deficit, ultimately that's why you're gaining, not because of anything else. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's nothing bad on you. That's just life, basically. So I was probably a slow loser because I was eating half a bag of pasta a day, basically. So yeah, that would be what I would say to that. Calorie counting, your calories, you shouldn't be left feeling that hungry, and if you are, definitely look again at some calorie calculators, because yeah, you don't want to be going hungry. I'd just say mix up your meals, maybe. Like, obviously I don't know what your diet is, I don't know whether you eat a big breakfast, a small breakfast, whatnot, but I always put my dinner in the app first to see how many calories, so I don't feel restricted on an evening. Then with whatever's left, I'll work it out. Will I have egg on toast? Will I add a sausage patty in? Will I have some hash browns? Will I not? Like, that kind of thing. Lunch, I can get away with a soup and a bag of crisps, or soup and some fruit or something. It's all about just working out how to get the most from your calories. Like, you want big substantial meals, basically. And use salad to bulk it out. Like, salad is so low calorie, but it makes the meal look so much bigger. I've started doing that, and I've noticed a massive difference. Like, I'm getting full after meals just by adding salad. I wouldn't stress about small losses. A loss is a loss, and on your journey, that's what you want. You want losses, don't you? Even to maintain, you're not going backwards, you're still on that track. Calorie counting, literally just Google some calculators, have a look of what your deficit is. If you need to up it, you need to up it. Like, you don't want to go hungry. You're not going to gain, like, you're not going to gain a stone from upping your calorie count by like 200 calories. That could just give you an extra something in the evening, for instance, or an extra 2 slices of bread a day to have. Like, it all adds up, do you know what I mean? Like, you need to make sure you're eating enough. And if you're going hungry, like, at first, I think the switch from Slimming World to calorie counting, you do get hungry, because I was eating so much on Slimming World, and I was like, right, okay, I was clearly eating a lot. I've done it now for a few months, and I feel absolutely fine. If anything, I've got calories left over, and I'm like, oh, what can I have, kind of thing. So like, your body just get used to it. You just need to give it a chance, basically. How often is best to weigh yourself? I'm doing it every morning, driving me mad. Please do not weigh yourself every morning. Do it for a week and see how much it fluctuates. Like, that, it's like, no, please don't do it. Like, it's just such a bad concept for your mind. I weigh myself at the moment once a week, purely because I want to get down to a certain goal. And then, like, when I was at my goal, I was weighing in like once every 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks. That's what Slimming World advises when you're at your target weight. It advises every 4 to 8 weeks, which I think is good. And then you want to get to a stage where you want to eat. The end goal for everyone is just to eat healthily, naturally, and not bother about the scales. The scales are the devil. Like, measure yourself, do other things. Sorry, it was going to cut off then. Do other things, like try new clothes after a month and see if they feel a bit looser. Don't just rely on the scales, because I could have a week where I could maintain, but I could, like, before I've weighed, I feel amazing. I feel like I've lost £5, and then I maintain and it makes me feel fat, and I'm like, why? Like, just a number like on the floor, how can that make me feel fat when I just felt amazing? So just please don't weigh yourself every day. At minimum or maximum, whatever, once a week. Like, once a week, and then you good, but just hide them. Get anyone in your house to hide them any other time of the week. Favourite low calorie sweet treat at the moment, the new Bliss bars. I'm not joking, I got gifted them. So, but this isn't an ad, like, I'm not paid to tell you this, but they are the best things. They're like a toffee crisp, but like chocolatier. Like, is that a word? More chocolatey. Like, seriously, it's gone in like 2 bites, and I'm like, oh my god, I want 5 more. They're amazing. Or like a Fibre One bar. I know Aldi do like fibre now, and oh my god, they're unreal as well. I love like something chocolatey in the evening with a cup of tea. That kind of like keeps me going then till the morning. Good low calorie meals, dinner and tea. I'm kind of boring. Like, I'm like one of these, like, creature of habit. That's the one. I'm a creature of habit. I love tuna pasta. I love any kind of pasta bakes, to be honest. The fish burgers from Aldi are amazing with like rice and salad, or put into a bun with some chips. I love like pesto pastas and stuff. Basically I just love pasta. That's the end. I just love pasta. So anything pasta based, I'm just obsessed. How long did it take you to realise calorie counting is working better than Slimming World? I'm doing both this week. It's not that it works better, it's just that it was working better at the time. Like after I'd done Slimming World for a very long time, so there was going to come a time where I'd plateau, is that the word? You know, when your weight loss comes to a halt basically. So it kind of took a few weeks for me to get used to, and to get out I felt really guilty. Like, what was that? I was having like rice cakes, but I was having like 6 rice cakes with soft cheese on, and like that would be high sin on Slimming World, but the rice cakes are like next to nothing in calories. And it took me a good few weeks to get out of a guilty mindset. Like I was really guilty, and now I'm in a completely different mindset. Like nothing's off bounds, I can have anything as long as it's in my calories. And that doesn't mean to say though that like you can get away with not eating veg, because the first few weeks I was eating crap and not putting my veg and my fruit in, and now I make sure I make room for veg, because that's why Slimming World works so well, because it's so healthy. So it's kind of incorporating both. I'd say both is the best. If you're doing both, you're getting the goodness of Slimming World meals, like healthy cooking, healthy recipes, fruit and veg, and limited like chocolatey snacks, but you're putting it into a deficit, so you're not eating over the amount that you should be eating. So I'd say it will take you a good few weeks to get used to, and to work around and to tweak it to how it works for you, and then you'll know if you want to do one or the other, or both together basically. Which have you found better for weight loss? That was a similar question, but like I said before, they're both decent. I mean, Slimming World probably better because I've lost 2.5 stone, but I'm not trying to lose that weight again. Like through calorie counting, I'm trying to lose a little bit of weight to get back to my goal, which is going to take longer anyway because I'm a slow loser, and then I'm going to maintain it. So it's completely different circumstances, so I'd say both. Did you find weight loss or maintenance most difficult? This is such a good question. 110% maintenance. No one talks about it. It's such like, everyone's like weight loss, weight loss, weight loss. Oh, I've lost £1 this week, I've lost £3, I've maintained whatever. No one talks about how hard it is to maintain your weight. I'm not joking. I found it really hard to come to terms with, right, I need to get out of this mindset of losing weight and sticking to sins and sticking to all this, and I actually need to eat more to maintain. And I was still going to group every week, I was still weighing every week, which is just wrong, and I would not recommend doing it, because you're going to just get into an obsessive mindset. You want your end goal, not only physically, like weight wise, should be to forget about the scales, to focus on healthy eating and what you've learnt through weight loss to maintain. So yeah, I'd say maintenance is so much harder than weight loss, because weight loss, you're on a journey, you're motivated, like you know what you need to do, and you know it will work eventually. Maintenance, you're thrown in the deep end. You're like, oh god, what now? Like, what can I have, what can't I have? It's crazy. But like, I've managed to do it for like, I think 2 years, nearly 2 years, over 2 years now. So I've clearly done something right, but it is hard to learn like what works for you and what doesn't. Do you include your cups of tea in your calorie count for the day? I just put like a certain amount of milk in, like, so I'll leave my milk at like 30 ml. I don't even know if that's right, but at least I've got some calories. I don't tend to drink that much tea. Well, I do when I'm at work, but not really, because tea itself isn't very high in calories. That's one thing I don't really calorie count with. I just add the milk in, but it's up to you. It's whatever works for you really, but I personally don't. I started Slimming World last week, but find I'm super hungry. Do you think calorie counting is better? That's a really strange one. Not in a rude way, but like Slimming World's known for like you're never hungry. So it depends on what your diet is. I'd recommend eating more. I mean, I ate till I was full on Slimming World and I lost my weight, so I'd say that's possible. It just depends. Like, you need to be eating filling meals, like your pastas, all your carbs. Do not shy away from carbs because they fill you up. Fruit to snack on, that fills you up. Like, you need to, like, you shouldn't be hungry on Slimming World really. Calorie counting is not that much better if you're feeling hungry on Slimming World, because you put to a halt. You've got your calorie deficit and that's it. Whereas Slimming World, you can kind of, if you're hungry on an evening, you can munch on a bag of mango. I wish I could do that now, but that's like, it's quite high calorie to be fair, and I didn't realise I was doing that for ages though. So I wouldn't necessarily say calorie count is better at this stage if you're hungry on Slimming World. I'd say explore to the maximum amount what you're eating on Slimming World. And obviously, if anyone's struggling or anyone wants more advice specifically, like, and I'm talking to you, but we're not having a conversation. So if you want to message me because I'm more than happy to like voice note or talk to you about it, because I feel like I've done Slimming World for that long now, and then obviously calorie counting for quite a bit. I feel like I kind of know what I'm talking about a little bit, winging it a bit. But yeah, just feel free to message me if there's anything else you want to know. Which do you eat healthier on? At first, Slimming World, but now I'm really trying to incorporate healthy eating, like really healthy eating. So like, I still buy all the fruit and veg that I would on Slimming World, and I just incorporate it nicely in to a deficit. Basically, I always leave room. I'd probably say I have around 200 to 300 calories worth of fruit and veg a day, which I think is quite decent. I was never like, I always get my fruit and veg in, but not like a huge amount anyway. But I always leave like room for enough. Like for instance tonight, I could have upped my cheese and had more cheese on my lasagna, but I've opted to have a salad on the side. I think I deserve a crown for that. Thank you. But yeah, just depends. It's however you work it. Do you know what I mean? You don't have to eat veg on calorie counting. You don't have to eat veg on Slimming World, really. I mean, it probably would still work, but just work a lot slower. But yeah. Do you eat the calories you burn if you need to? No. This is another one. So when you do a calorie calculator, not counter, it incorporates your exercise in with it. So your calorie deficit is already with how much exercise you do. She is so irritating. Can you see this? So yeah, if you're eating the calories you're burning as well as the calories that have already allowed you to do the exercise, then it's kind of a lose-lose situation. If I was absolutely starving, like absolutely, I'd probably eat like 100 more calories than I would normally, but I'm rarely ever starving. I think my calorie deficit is a good one for me. To be fair, mine's higher than for me. Mild weight loss was like 1,380 and maintenance was like 1,680, so I've kind of gone in the middle, and so far, fingers crossed, touch wood, it's working for me. So the main pros and cons for both, I've already like kind of touched on. I'm just seeing if there's any more questions. No, that is it. I've already touched on the pros and cons for both. The pros of Slimming World: healthy eating. You can eat until you're full and there's no limit, and it's fairly easy. Once you get the hang of it, it's fairly easy. The app helps as well because you have the little barcode scanner now, so you can just like MyFitnessPal scan it in. Cons: you can go way over your calories. For instance, one thing I looked at today, I'm doing obviously a lasagna for dinner. I've said about a million times. I was going to have 3 sheets of pasta and it came to like 250 calories. Like, I wouldn't even think twice about that normally. Yeah, so I wouldn't normally think twice about that, obviously, because it's sin free. But that's the cons. I think you can go out, depending on what kind of day you have food wise, you can go so over calories. Like, I must have been having so many calories. So for instance, say a normal day, I've got work, I'd have egg on toast for breakfast, not too bad, but I would have 3 eggs instead of 2 because eggs are sin free, but that's extra calories. Then say for lunch, I would have, the worst one was a bag of savoury rice from Aldi, sin free. It was like 450 calories I was just having for lunch because it was sin free. Not only that, but I was packing it with veg, which is good, but that veg is all adding up. Maybe I'd add a sausage because it's half a sin. You're looking at like 600 calories for lunch, like, and then I would have for dinner at work a bolognese pasta, so you're already looking at another 500 calories. And then I'd have cheese on top, so add another 200 calories. Then I would have a fibre one for a snack, and then I would finish the night. I'd go and get some fruit and eat that. You're looking at like over 2,000 calories I was consuming. But on Slimming World, it was probably like a very low sin day. Do you know what I mean? So it all adds up, and I think that's the cons of Slimming World ultimately. That's why doing both I think works really well, because the cons of calorie counting is you can get into like eating unhealthy food. Like, you could literally have a McDonald's, you could have a McDonald's breakfast and McDonald's for dinner. It doesn't, just because it's in your deficit, it doesn't mean it's right. Like, it's unhealthy, and that's not balanced either. But obviously the pros is like no food's off limit at the same time, so you can literally have whatever you fancy. and nothing's labelled as like a sin or a healthy extra or anything. Like, it's like real life terms, whereas Slimming World is like, they're made up concepts, but you're led in your head to believe that that's the only way forward, and if you go over them or under them, you're in big trouble. But yeah, there's pros and cons of both, and I enjoy both. I'm not slating Slimming World at all, but let me just put that now. I'm just telling you my experiences and my journey. Like, I've done Slimming World for such a long time, like, it literally worked for me. I'm not even saying it doesn't work, it literally worked for me. But there comes to a point where I just needed to try something new, and calorie counting has allowed me to enjoy all foods again, because me personally was getting obsessive. And I think you're allowed to say that without bashing Slimming World. Like, I'm not bashing Slimming World, I would never do it, because I literally feel like Slimming World changed my life. Like, I owe my life to Slimming World for losing weight and stuff. But yeah, I feel like I got into a bit of a deep rant then. There's one more question actually I'm going to do. A girl DM'd me, do you think Slimming World or calorie counting is better for a newbie? I'd say it depends what your eating habits are like, really. It depends what your goals are. Are your goals to go to the gym, exercise, get your protein in and tone? I don't know, for instance, I'd say calorie counting. Is your goal to lose 3 stone but you're always hungry and you're worried about being put in a deficit? You're not really planning on doing much exercise, or just a little bit, or even you are planning on exercising. It all depends on your personal goals. It's all personal to you. But if you was to message me and tell me your situation and tell me what you're looking to do, I can give my opinion. That's all I can do. Doesn't mean my opinion's right or wrong. I can give you my opinion, because I did both. I started at 12 stone 6 and got down to 10 stone 9 on calorie counting in the gym, and then I just give it up. I probably could have lost more. And then I did Slimming World and got from 12 stone 4 to 9 stone, my lowest was 9 stone 7. So I've done both, so I can advise on both. But yeah, I think that's all the questions. So I hope no more come in, because I'm going to feel really guilty, but I think I've covered the majority. Just to obviously reiterate, I'm not bashing any diet plan, because I'm currently doing a bit of both. I'm incorporating all the good things to Slimming World and shoving in a deficit, forgetting about sins, but like kind of still thinking about healthy extras, but kind of just like, I'll limit myself to 1 bit of fibre a day, or like one wrap, or like 2 pieces of bread, or that's it. I won't have like bread for lunch, bread for dinner kind of thing. Or like the cheese as well, I won't have like cheese for all 3 meals or something. I will just have, and I still use the same grams as the hexas on Slimming World and stuff. So yeah, I feel like I've explained myself enough. If you did enjoy, please give it a thumbs up, and any comments or anything, like, just leave down below and I'll answer. I'll leave my Instagram here. I post all my meals, all my meal plans, everything. Like, feel free to ask me anything. I'm all good. I'm your gal. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.